Okay, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to select our background to start with, to select a color, and then we're going to actually reverse that to select the foreground, and I will use the refine edge to refine that selection a little bit more. So I'm just going to go select and then color range. So I'm selecting the background, the white section, and I'll leave it at fuzziness 40, and I'll just OK that. So you can see it's not a bad selection, but it would be good to get a little bit more detail in some of these areas, especially around the hair. So I've selected the background. I'm going to swap my selection. So I'm just going to use the select, and I'm going to select the inverse. So I'm actually selecting the foreground. And then what I'm going to do now is click on the refine edge, which is at the very top just here. And this is the new feature of CS5. Our view, we can have a number of different views. We can select our view with marching ants. We can have an overlay. We can have it on black or on white. And as we're flicking through, you can kind of see that the detail that the selection tool has so far. I'm going to stick with I might actually try an overlay just so we can see the difference between the foreground and the background. So here you can see, because it's a white background and we've put it onto a black background, you can see where some of the white sections haven't been selected. So I'll leave it at that so we can sort of see the what we're up to with the refine edge tool. Now if we look at Smart Radius is going to select a little bit more. It's kind of going to be a little bit more accurate with the selection. You can see here it's starting to select different areas or unselect different areas as well. And if we go a little bit higher with that, you can see it's starting to get a little bit more detail in some of these areas. And I'll go a little bit higher. So I'm reasonably happy with that. What we can do now, we can use the refine radius tool. Now the refine radius tool allows us to select some of these areas and just have a little bit more accuracy with the selection of the hairs. And this is picking up on really fine parts of the hairs and even the hair strands. So if we just follow this around, so this is the refine radius tool, and we're just following around the edges, and we're just making just some minor adjustments to the separate selections. And if you have a look at these, you're starting to get some more detail in some of these areas. And if we click around here, you'll see that the color is starting to change in these some of these areas where it's a little bit see-through. You can starting to see the black areas, and you can start to see some of the areas a little bit more clearly. So I'll keep selecting, heading around these different areas here, selecting, and what we will find is that we'll have a bit more accuracy with our selection. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll place that on a different background so we can kind of have an idea of how that selection is coming up. So there's our overlay, that's looking quite good. And on white will look fine because it began on white. And there's our black and white selection, so you can really see some of the detail starting to happen in these, especially some of these inner selections here. You're starting to see quite a nice amount of detail. Now what we can do is we can also decontaminate colors. So sometimes when you have an edge on something, you actually find that it picks up on a color. So I'll see if I can show this to you on a black background. What we can do, we can actually adjust this, and we're adjusting the white out of the original to make it kind of blend with everything else. You can see that's starting to happen now. So if we put that onto a different color, you can see it's starting to take on the color that it's over the top of. And back to here we can see that all the really nice detail that's on there. So what we can do now is we can actually output that with a new layer with a layer mask. So if we click on the OK, we're creating an image that is going to have a new layer, but every part of that selection now is going to be in a new layer mask. And you can make adjustments to that at a later stage if you want, or you can make adjustments now if you wanted to just make some changes. So there you have the new refine tool. I hope that this has helped you. Give it a go.